If your Mediterranean cruise is calling at Santorini, then this video is your guide to unlocking the most scenic and Instagrammable spots on this mesmerizing island of the Cyclades, all without an expensive cruise line excursion. Join me as I take you from the old port to Ear and show you where you can capture the most memorable photos. It's coming up. Hi fellow travelers, this is Ken and welcome back to my channel, Ken Travels 360. We are currently on board Odyssey of the Seas and it's now day 3 of the Greek islands cruise. As you can see, the ship has reached the first port since setting sail from Civitavecchia a couple of days ago. We've now arrived at the stunning island of Santorini. Earlier this morning, I went to the music hall on deck 4 to collect our tender tickets. These tickets are supposedly available for collection from 9 AM. So we got a tender ticket group 25. Apparently, people have been lining up since 7 AM in order to get the very first tender. And there I was thinking I would just come here 20 minutes before to get the first tender tickets. As you approach the greater caldera of Santorini, prepare to be awestruck by the sheer beauty of this natural wonder. The approach offers a breathtaking panorama that will leave you speechless. Santorini is a volcanic island. The island's volcanic origins can be traced back to a massive volcanic eruption that occurs around 3,600 years ago. The eruption caused a massive explosion, resulting in the collapse of the central part of the island and the formation of a large caldera. The caldera is a volcanic crater that is now filled with water, creating a stunning natural harbor. As we sail towards Santorini, you'll notice the towering cliffs rising from the deep blue Aegean Sea. Alright, it's time to disembark and begin our Santorini adventure. To get off the ship, we'll now take a tender boat to reach the island. Wow, it's mayhem here. It's our turn now. We're getting onto the tender boat. So we're on the tender boat now. You know, you could easily forget how big the ship is until you're on a much smaller tender boat. The tender boat ride to Santorini is a short and scenic one, offering a breathtaking view that is unique when arriving at this beautiful island by boat. So once we have reached Santorini's port, we have a couple of options to reach the island's capital, Fira. The most popular choice is the cable car, which offers a thrilling and picturesque journey up the cliffs. Unfortunately, and we knew this could happen when there are multiple cruise ships in town, there is an almighty long line for the cable car. So the cable car ride has a 2-hour queue, so we are gonna take the donkey to go up. They have raised the price from €6 to €10. Before we arrived here, we didn't plan to take the mule ride to get up to Fira. However, it was out of question to wait 2 hours in the heat for the cable car, and walking up the steps is just far too strenuous. There's also mule's poo everywhere along the path. We know because we walked down that path when we last visited Santorini 8 years ago. I have considered the ethical aspects of mule rides, but eventually we decided that it's a compromise that we'll take on this occasion. The ride itself was rather bumpy, and the mules often just stopped going for a while. I was so glad when we did reach the top. So because there was a 2-hour wait for the cable car, we had to do the donkey ride, which is €10. We didn't really want to do the donkeys, but what were we supposed to do? Wait 2 hours? From here, we can see all the cruise ships anchored in the sparkling blue waters in the distance. Additionally, you can spot other nearby islands in the flooded Santorini caldera, such as Nia Kameni, which is the volcanic island, and Thracia, which is the lesser-known neighbor of Santorini. The stunning volcanic caldera of Santorini is usually visible from this viewpoint as well. Anyway, we've made it to Fira, the capital of Santorini. The town clings precariously to the edge of the cliffs overlooking the Cordillera. The current Thira was the result of a rebuild following a devastating earthquake in 1956. We're now going to walk towards a much photographed church that is marked on Google Maps as Three Bells of Thira. On our way there, we passed through this beautiful church with a peach and blue colored facade. As we stroll along, we couldn't take our eyes off the stunning view of Thira sitting right on the edge of a cliff, overlooking the amazing Aegean Sea and the Cordillera. The town looked like a picture postcard with its cute white buildings blending in perfectly with the blue sea. Eventually, we reached the Three Bells of Thira, but we couldn't see the famous blue dome, but only the three bells. Turns out we need to get to the other side of the church in order to see the blue dome. There are lots of signage directing tourists to go to the other side where the blue dome is visible. Oh, here we are. We just walk around the corner, which is still a few minutes walk, and finally we see the blue dome. After taking our Instagram shots, it's time to move on to Iya, and we'll do so by taking the public bus. The bus station is just opposite the Museum of Prehistoric Thira, so if you put that in Google Maps, you shall find its location easily. We visited on a previous trip 9 years ago, and in there we saw some unbelievably detailed clay statues, as well as some amazing pottery. We're now at the bus station. So we found the bus stop. This is the bus to Iya. The bus ticket should be $160 per person. The bus takes about 20 minutes to go from Thira to Iya with a stop at Imerovigli. And the bus is actually quite comfortable as it's air-conditioned. So we just took the public bus to get to Iya. It's just like a tour bus. You are still packed in there with 50, 60 other passengers. But it was air-conditioned and we just caught up with emails and things. And in 20 minutes time we got here. Well, welcome to the breathtaking village of Iya, famous for its mesmerizing views and charming whitewashed buildings. Get your cameras ready here because every corner of this place is a postcard-perfect photo opportunity. As soon as we arrive, we see this impressive church of Panagia Pisani. This famous church in Iya has 5 domes, with the largest one painted blue. It has a bell tower in the shape of a pyramid containing 6 bells. Right, next, it's time to take you to the most iconic spots in Iya, where you can find 3 blue dome churches. This is the exact view when people think of Santorini. So officially, this spot is on private property. However, nobody seems to really care or try to enforce it. Instead, there's a sign asking people to be respectful. In Google Maps, search for Millennial Cafe. It's on the main street of Iya and easy to find. When you walk past it, take your first left. As you walk down this street, you see a little gate with a respect sign by it. And the stairs here is your perfect Instagram spot. In order to get the shot, you have the photographer stand at the top of the stair, and then you only need to walk down a few steps for an epic photo. Most of the time, when you are nearby, the photo spots will be easy to find because there will be a line. If you are trying to take photos during golden hour or sunset, expect a very long line. If you enjoyed this video so far, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more exciting travel content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now. By subscribing to my channel, you'll be the first to know whenever I release new videos. Okay, next we'll go to the Iya Castle. Before we get there, we'll walk through Iya and take a few moments to immerse ourselves in its enchanting atmosphere and marvel at its captivating beauty. You'll discover an abundance of Instagrammable spots scattered throughout. Behind me is the Iya's Museum of Ancient Greek, Byzantine and Post-Byzantine musical instruments. I bet they don't get many visitors there. But don't come to Iya in summer expecting an idyllic Greek village. The reality is that you will be jostling with thousands of other visitors. Iya is really full of all these iconic blue dome churches. This one is the last one before the Iya Castle, the Church of Agios Nicholas. Iya Castle, also known as the Castle of St. Nicholas, is a captivating landmark perched atop the cliffs in the village of Iia, Santorini. This iconic castle is not a traditional fortress, but rather a collection of ruins that hold great historical and cultural significance. It has a commanding position overlooking the Caldera and the sparkling Aegean Sea. The castle has a surviving watchtower, which was once used to guard against pirates. This is the perfect place for the Iia sunset. We have done it before, and here are some pictures. We don't really want to rush with hundreds of other cruises later to take the bus back to Fira and then spend ages to wait for the cable car, followed by the tender boat. So we'll see the Iia castles now. In the distance, you can see the windmill of Iia, which has now been turned into a hotel called Charisma Suites. Look at the beautiful view of Santorini. This is the viewpoint from Iia's castle. It's definitely worth walking all the way to here. Near Iia Castle, if you look for Castro Iia houses, you can find another famous Instagram spot. It's actually a hotel here, and the orange walls with blue doors really juxtapose with the rest of the white buildings. And it actually have two parts. On the opposite side, they also have a beautiful white building with blue doors as well. So, having visited the best spots in Iia, we are going to walk back to the bus station now to get back to Fira, where we'll enjoy the sunset. Near the bus station, there is a great gelateria called Lolita's Gelato. They are particularly famous for their blueberry and pistachio flavors. They also have some original flavors like rose water and red pepper. So if you want a gelato, this is the place to try it. So we just got back to the bus station and there was a bus waiting for us already. That's great. So we are taking the bus back to Fira. Back at Fira, we decided to get a sundowner to watch the sunset before heading back to Odyssey of the Seas. We ordered a Long Island iced tea because it has the most alcohol in the cocktail. We haven't really had any cocktails in the last 2-3 days. So delicious. This is really the perfect place to watch the sunset. I really enjoyed this. Normally with cruises, the all aboard time tends to be before sunset, but today we had the luxury of savoring the beautiful sunset before returning to the ship. Initially, the line for the cable car seemed a bit daunting, but considering the fading light and the alternatives of walking or taking a mule ride, it was an easy decision. So after half an hour wait, we managed to get into the waiting area, so not so bad. So the cable car ride was a lot quicker than the donkeys and there was no smell at all. Now we're gonna join the queue for the tender boats to get back to our ship, Odyssey of the Seas. Queue? So we got back to the ship and we went up to Windjammer to have dinner, and now we've got back to our room. We really enjoyed our time in Santorini, and I thank you for joining me in this video to explore Santorini together. If you enjoy watching this video, why don't you watch another one from the same cruise series by clicking one of these videos links here. See you over there. Ciao.